FlightSimExpo was an awesome experience. I left right after Calculus Thursday to get to the airport as soon as I could and leave on my flight. The approach into San Diego is so pretty. I love flying next to all of the buildings and seeing them on the approach. It's super cool. I also saw this mysterious, kind of cloud go over the wing. I forgot what phenomenon that was, but it looked super cool. I was geeking out the entire time. The touchdown was pretty smooth. It was a nice touchdown into San Diego, and it was a good flight. I flew a Frontier A321, and it went pretty well. It was fun to see all the palm trees, and try to take as many pictures of planes as I could. So, today was the first day of FlightSimExpo. It was the captain's corner, so I have a bunch of notes right here about building computers, building home cockpits, building X-plane IFR plans, super cool stuff. And I also have this. It's my speech. Tomorrow we're gonna give it, and I have polka dot socks. So, I know it'll go well because these socks don't disappoint. It's going to be about removing home cockpit barriers. And one of them is stressing about speeches. Ooh, 17 pages of outline, 11 points, plus the 2 bookends, so 13 points. Wow. I really enjoyed the Captain's Corner seminars, and in about a month and a half, I guess, you can see them on YouTube.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Evan, co-founder of Flight Simulation Association. The other half of FSA is Phil. He's hiding back behind the stage there. He'll come out eventually.
It was then time for my public speaking. This was pretty awesome. I was stressed about this the entire expo, to be honest, because I've never done something this professional before, with fancy microphones and people that care about what I'm talking about. The entire time I was figuring out what final adjustments I could make on the speech. I've never listened to this video with audio, and now I'm a little bit scared that there was laughing at the beginning. It's like an evil horror movie. Oh my goodness. It was destined for failure. We set up everything, and it was super exciting.
So I would encourage all of you to ask, what's holding me back? And then kind of aim towards that. There's infinite knowledge almost in the flight simulation community because it branches out so much. We could go into panel making, laser cutting, 3D printing, all the configuration, coding, stuff like that. You can even go into aircraft making, like designing them for add-on airplanes. You can go into woodworking, 3D printing. There's so much to learn about flight simulation.
We got a ton of really good pictures for public speaking, but we also got some not so great ones, and it's really funny to see all of these. Look at this one. That's one of my favorites. I looked inside the Hoover app, and this is one of the pictures someone showed of me, which I think is hilarious. And then this one. So I have some good pictures and not so great pictures, and we're gonna do whatever the heck we want with them, I guess. It's super fun because I have my badge right here, and it says speaker. I have 2 badges, double special. Wow. This FlightSimExpo, I worked closely with Altimeter Motives and did a bunch of stuff with them, and I was the first person, I think, to test their setup, which was pretty cool. I then ran the booth at Altimeter Motives, answering questions, and I also walked around the exhibit hall, looking at everything that's pretty cool. I really enjoyed Sarah's talk about flying blind. It was an incredible story about how Sarah learned to fly using software, even though she can't see.
I want to get a totally blind person into commercial flight, and that hopefully is my legacy. Hopefully I don't die trying.
This over here is a cool innovation. It is an egg simulator. So it's supposed to be a motion flight simulator that rolls around on a bunch of weird roller things, and it works somehow. It's a really cool concept, but I didn't get to fly it, so... Here's a pretty cool innovation. This is Sim Your Plane. They make fancy little hardware parts right here. where you basically pull it back and forth, and it coordinates to the control surfaces in the airplane. So it's basically like a little joystick that you kind of like hook up to your plane, but it's optimized like a badge reel. So you can hook it up to a real plane's like aileron and both track data from it, and you can also have your realistic flight controls with your actual flight controls. This was my first time flying in VR, and the simulator plane people were super nice about it. It was so crazy being able to look left and right and see the entire cockpit. I've never had an experience like this before. The simulator plane people also took me on quite a ride. I look so stupid trying to hold the joystick because there is none. It looks like there should be one there. This person right here is actually a stunt pilot, which is incredible. So he's flying right next to the runway. It was definitely thrilling. VR technology excites me so much right now. I also saw this super expensive plane with precision flight control. No, I have an ad for them somewhere. It was a virtual fly simulator, and it looked super impressive. I'm like, wow, look at all this. It's basically a real airplane. I did notice right here they used like the standard push switches for those, so I thought that was hilarious. Everything looks super nice. Really impressed with it. And finally, it was time to go.